Hey, what's up? John Saunders here from SimpleProgrammer.com. Just finished my run here, 12-mile run, getting ready, training up for that marathon. And it's pretty tough getting back into it, but I did some intervals, some sprints. The last mile, I like to do that sometimes. Those intervals, that HIIT training, although I don't just do the HIIT training, when you do that during a run, it can make a big difference. Just like 3 maximum speed sessions, sprints, during a run have been shown to increase the VO2 max more dramatically than doing a lot of long runs. So it's definitely a good technique for increasing that. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Instead, today I want to talk about more about frame. So I did this video on frame and about frame control and about how, it's not about what you say, it's what you convey. It's how you deliver it really is what matters. But I want to talk a little bit more about some of the techniques you can do to control a frame, to dominate a frame, and stuff like that. Some of the things that I use. So I'll give you an example here from a club in Vegas. I saw these 2 guys that were like, I don't know, they were just like too serious, I don't know, I was like, oh, how can I break their frame and make them have a good time? They're kind of trying to put off this kind of elusive vibe in the club. And so what I did was, instead of going up and talk to them, I went up from behind, I put my arms on both of their shoulders, and I said, hey, these are my friends here, I want you to meet my friends, and push them into like a group of girls. And that basically gave me the dominant frame, right? So normally in a situation like that, they would have pretty much frame control, because these guys are together, they're there, they know some people there, right? It's really hard for me to come in and have the dominant frame in that situation because they're already buddies. I'm coming in solo. But by doing that, essentially by having such a strong presence, right? By coming in from behind, by grabbing both of them, very strong, right? Very clear, very confident as I stepped into it, they both were taken back, right? So almost like if you want to break someone's frame, especially if you have the strong frame, you've got to come in with a stronger thing, stronger personality, more confidence, a surprise, something that's going to throw them off and make them sort of like question what just happened, right? You're basically not breaking their concentration, but breaking their vibe, breaking their frame, and bringing your own. The same thing, I did this video on doing high fives, just did today, just as an example. Saw this girl walking down the, as I was doing my intervals, and she's definitely a good looking girl, but she had this kind of, unapproachable vibe. So instead of like saying hi, I put out my hand like high five, in a very like expecting her to high five manner, and she was taken aback a little bit. She was off kilter a little bit, and actually like she gave me the high five and then she blushed because she was now taken aback. So like she didn't know what to do. Normally she's used to controlling and dominating the frame, especially in that situation. She's walking down the boardwalk, she knows guys are looking at her, right? But by me coming in and not doing some kind of talk to her, but just doing that high five, I threw it off, right? I do a lot of practice like that just to, it's a good thing to practice to see, can you take someone's frame, can you break it, right? Frequently I'll see like a tough looking dude walking down, trying to act all hardcore, trying to act all tough and stuff. And sometimes I'll play it up a little bit. I'll make a grumpy face at him, and then I'll kind of do like that, and I'll be like, "What's up, man? I'm just playing with you, right?" And at that point, like, I've sort of made fun of him, right? So that made him feel self-conscious, a little bit embarrassed. But because I played it off, because I was like, I'm cool, right? Like I'm not starting a thing. We're just having fun. Like you must be cool. You must be big too, and can handle this. Because I did that, he's got to save face. He can't keep that tough guy frame. He can either try and hold that tough guy frame, but in order to do that, he's got to step it up a level. He's got to be like, that shit ain't funny, bro. Like, something like that, and come at me. Or he's got to play into my frame. Otherwise, he's got to laugh and say, "What's up, dude? You got me," or something like that. Or he could still try to be a little bit tough, but I'm gonna shatter. You're gonna make people laugh. You're gonna make it serious, right? Where are you gonna take it? Most of the time, it's easier to take it into a playful direction, and then now you're gonna be establishing the new frame. Hey, what's up? Hey, happy Easter. How you doing?
Happy face time.
So yeah, so that's it, right? You know, and then you're setting what the new direction is. And you know, this is applicable, right? You know, you guys, obviously it's applicable to you guys if you have strong frames that you're trying to break in a club, in, you know, situations where you're maybe working what would be out of your league, what you think is out of your league. Nothing's really out of your league unless you make it so. But in those situations where you're coming in, you know, especially you're talking to like 5-6 girls where you clearly don't have the frame, right? You clearly can't, you know, you've got to switch things around. You got to do this kind of technique and do pattern interrupt. So anyway, I just wanted to follow up that video where I was telling you that the more dominant frame wins, to give you some practical advice, some tips on how you can now break the existing frame, come in with your frame, and make that the dominant frame. So just think about those things. But what I was gonna say is it's applicable in all kinds of situations, right? It's gonna be applicable in dealing with friends, in social groups, in workplaces, anywhere where you need to exact either some kind of leadership, you need to change the direction, change the emotional flow of the situation, or you need to establish some kind of a status or pecking order, and it's important that you come out on top. It's gonna require you to have that dominant frame. And like I said, most of the time, a lot of situations, you're not going to come in, you're not coming in as the celebrity, you're not coming in with the person with the dominant frame. But when you do that a couple times too, especially if you're in a social gathering, what will end up happening is you'll start to gather social proof, and that social proof will give you the more dominant frame in the entire situation. So you won't have to do that as much. You'll come into new conversations already keeping and having the dominant frame. Now, I'll do another video if you guys want. Leave a comment below. Remind me that you want a video on how to keep the frame, to keep someone else from doing this to you, because someone can easily do this to you. You're having a conversation. How many times has someone hijacked it? You know, that funny guy that comes in and all of a sudden he's the star of the show. How do you stop that? Leave a comment below. Give me a like. You know, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment saying you want to know how to keep the frame that you've already established. All right. Don't forget to subscribe. Click subscribe button below.